Alright, so first things today, I have replaced this old grimy shift knob with this one. This one came with the car. It's the stock shift knob. It's just really dirty on the top. I've cleaned it up a couple times, but the finishes wear it off and it just doesn't look that good anymore. So I'm keeping it around in case, when I sell the car or something. But I got this just basic 5-speed shift knob on Amazon. It's fine. It's metal. It's really cold right now. I don't really care that much about it, but it'll do its job. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I haven't replaced that many shift knobs before, so I need to read up on how you keep those connected. But I'm sure I can figure out something. But for now, yeah, it looks a little sharper, so that's good. Second thing is, I got my oil results back from Blackstone Labs. If you remember a couple months ago, I sent off a sample of oil from an oil change. The first oil change since the swap, it was about 1,800 miles since I took the engine out. I sent it off to them. They analyze the different amounts of metals in the oil and they make recommendations on your engine health, the oil you should be running, stuff like that. So what they said was, Jeremiah, excellent news post-engine swap. This 1ZZ Toyota is in great shape. You didn't run this oil very long and metals are all nice and low, just as they should be. Universal averages show typical wear levels for this engine after about 6,100 miles on the oil. We wouldn't recommend jumping to 6,000 miles all at once, but if you want to go a little longer next time, say 3,000 to 5,000, that should be fine. No fuel or moisture contamination was present, and silicone and insolubles show normal air and oil filtration, looking good at 82,000 miles, which is the miles on the engine itself. The car has about 102. So that's pretty awesome. That's really good news. It's nice to get good news with this car every once in a while, and instead of another thing that's gone wrong. But that means that the engine is in pretty good internal health as far as they can tell. And that's pretty comforting. That's good to know. I'm probably going to do this on the RAV4 at some point. I got them to send me a couple more little containers to send oil back in. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But if I'm making a video, there has to be something else going on with the car. So let's take a look at that. So today my goal is to find the exhaust rattle. You guys have heard it in the last autocross video, in a couple other videos, like where I worked on the suspension clunk, a few things like that. And it's still here, and I have not been able to find it. So I'm going to just retorque everything on the exhaust. That's my only plan. I'm gonna loosen everything, retorque it, see if that fixes it, see if there's anything else hitting the exhaust. I'm hoping it's not the catalytic converter, because that is on the bottom of the engine. You can see it right there. Right there. So when the car bottomed out, when I went to visit my in-laws, right after I got the transmission rebuilt, that's when the rattling started, and it bottomed out on someone's driveway. And I don't see any physical damage on the catalytic converter, but it's very possible that like a rock hit it and something broke inside it. So that's what we're hoping has not happened, but I won't know till I take stuff apart and mess with it, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here's where we're at. I didn't document the entire removal process because, who cares? But the cat pipe appears to be fine. No rattles. Header appears to be fine. No rattles. But I have found what I think is the culprit, which is this exhaust. And so let me show you. There's this loose flange right here. So I'm gonna try to hold that down and then show you what the problem is. That is something shaking around internally in the exhaust system. I can't say I'm super surprised. I got this off Craigslist. A guy selling a bunch of car parts. He said he had no idea what car this goes to, which, to be fair, looks kind of weird. It doesn't really look like a normal car exhaust, and he was selling it for $100. And I think this is a Che style, Lotus style center exit exhaust, and I think this is an eBay version, and that's probably why it broke apart so quickly. I mean, I had it for a year, and it was cheap, so I guess I can't really complain too much, but I really just deferred the cost of upgrading to a nicer exhaust. So I need to go online, price my options out, see what I can get. But for now, I got to put all this somewhere temporarily. I'm not exactly sure where, but actually this is all pretty easy to take off though, so it won't be a big deal to put it back together, providing I can find something that works with the stock hole, because the stock exhaust comes out right here, but I cut the bumper for the center exit exhaust. So ideally, I'd be able to get something that comes out the center. So it sounds really awesome with the current setup, just the cat pipe and the header. but obviously I can't leave it like that. I can't really drive it right now either, so I'm going to go on Spyder Chat. I'm going to see what everybody's selling, and I'll see if I can find a decent deal on something center exit. All right, I have little baggies with all the hardware down there on the cross member. I have 3 little pins holding the rear bumper on. The tail lights are on the passenger seat. And I'm gonna close it back up and put some trash bags over the taillight holes, and that'll be it. All right, it's been about a week. I have bought another exhaust. I took the old exhaust to a good muffler shop I found, and they said it was not worth fixing. The old one was just a cheap knockoff. I did some research. It's junk. A lot of other people online have had the same problem, so no big deal. I got a year out of it. It was really cheap. I mean, I'd rather it wouldn't have broken, but I can't really complain. So we've got this one. I'm gonna go ahead and pull stuff apart and get going. There aren't very many videos online of different Spyder exhausts, at least with good quality, so I'm probably going to have to make some exhaust videos of this one, because if anyone else was shopping for the same thing, I think there's not much out there. So, I don't want these to be quite as rusty if I got to take them off again. Let's see if I can clean them and then spray this rust inhibitor on them. Yeah, they're pretty bad. Fortunately, the part that the threads go on, that's actually getting threaded, isn't too bad. All right, we'll let that sit for a minute or two. So the tip is actually separate. I'm assuming I can adjust its height or something, which is a little different from the old one. And I'm assuming those clamps will come in handy for that. Didn't really come with instructions. I like how small this is. And boom, there you go. That's it. Hey, I'm gonna need to move that back out on the street. Not too bad, just getting it fitted.
Looks nice and shiny.
Yeah. Go see if the tip fits. The other one was shiny when I first got it too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. that looks like that's gonna hit that and be an issue, but I suppose I should tighten this down before I decide that for sure. Guess we'll just have to see if it leaks. Just need somebody to hold a wrench for a second.
Okay.
Do you know if there are like heat resistant pads? Because this exhaust is definitely up against the cat, like touching. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to either like put one of those metal straps around it and bolt it together, or put like a little pad in between them.
Yeah, they sell them for like wood stoves.
That probably
so
work.
if the wood stove is anywhere near like wood, they sell these like reflective heat panels.
All right, here. So if you can come under there, there's this bolt right here.
Yeah.
If you can just hold that from moving.
Okay. Here. What happens if it moves?
I mean, it's not gonna break anything. I just gotta try again. Okay,
Alright.
got it?
Yep.
All right, hopefully that won't move. You should have seen how little space there was back here. The original muffler filled up this entire area. It was like
Really?
one giant open. Yeah, it was massive. Somehow, looking at this thing, it does not look like it's gonna block a lot of sound. I guess I'm gonna find out here in a second. All right. Let's see how this sounds. Babe, come listen. What do you think?
Sounds all better.
So,
I didn't hear any rattling.
I didn't either. Now the pipe is touching the catalytic converter pipe underneath it.
Is that bad?
Well, that might rattle at some point. So I'm thinking I'm gonna look for a pad I can put in between them, like some sort of heat resistant pad I can put on the back side of the pipe. You see the pipe turned to the side. I've got to tighten it up. All right, I need to let this cool down so I can finish tightening this thing up. And hopefully it's tight and it's just against the cat and it doesn't rattle, but it may start rattling and I'll have to do something else. Yeah, there it goes.
Hello, Internet.
Can you pop the latch? Probably put on my hoodie.
Yeah, probably. It's a little cold right now. Can we leave these up?
If you want to.
Oh, this looks cool.
That's because it's hanging down. The old shift knob went all the way down to it, so I got to figure out some way around that.
I think it looks cool. Unless it's unsafe.
I mean, there's no real safety issue. Disadvantage of already putting the top down is I can't spray the windshield. Definitely has more burble to it.
What's rattling?
Over here,
Oh.
just plastic. sweet time warming up.
I smell fish. Smell fish?
Not really. You're gonna smell chemicals and stuff burning off the exhaust.
Smells like fish.
I don't smell that. I just smell nasty burning smell.
No, I smell fish.
Okay, mention that. That pops a lot. Nice.
I like it.
It's actually not too much drone either.
Yeah.
But highway speeds, I really do think this is quieter than the old one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see how it sounds with the top up sometime. You can turn the heat on if you want.
Oh yeah. I don't hear any nasty rattling now either.
Well, I mean, that's because it's got a new muffler.
Yeah.
What I'm expecting to hear rattling from is where the tip touches the cat. Unless they're smashed up against each other, it can't rattle, which would be okay. Does that help? Hear the rattling? Yep, I'll have to come up with a plan for that.